If he wants to go to heavyweight, there's only one super fight for him. I love Tom Aspinall, and I've always liked Tom Aspinall in terms of being a heavyweight fighter. I've always liked him. Even when he first came in the UFC, I was like, again, this kid is good. He's talented. He moves like a lightweight. You know, he's explosive. He's fast, all of these things. But with Alex, there's only one guy at the heavyweight division that you could see him fight, and that would be Jon Jones. Now, that being said, there was something that was brought up today, and texting a little bit back and forth with Chael Sonnen and actually talking with him a little bit, and him basically saying, like, the fight that I think is really going to happen is that Jon Jones is going to make the weight at 205, and he's going to fight Alex. So he's going to fight for that title, I think, at 205. That puts away the idea that Alex needs to go to heavyweight, and I think it really wraps up. If Alex can beat Jon Jones at 205, the weight that Jon Jones had defended his title for however many years and hadn't lost and has never lost at 205 outside of the Matt Hamill situation. That right there is a fight that you could potentially see headline the UFC White House card. That is a huge fight. Jon Jones at 205 for the title. That just makes sense. Alex doesn't have to go up. John's got to probably lose a couple LBs, but I think he can do it. The Alex fight definitely is more favorable to him. Alex's wrestling is nowhere near John's wrestling. Both about the same age. And I think Jon, feels like, hey, we're both physically very similar in height. John's obviously got the longer reach at 84 inches, which is unheard of. This could be one of those fights that I could see headlining the White House card. Now, I know we keep talking about the White House card because there's so much speculation on, hey, this fight could happen. I just talked to Brian. I thought maybe the Conor Max Holloway fight could be the main event. I could see the Jon Jones and Alex Pereira fight being the main event. But Alex has a tendency to be an active fighter, and him being an active fighter, can he wait that long? Will he wait that long? I think for the Jon Jones fight, he'll wait that long. The 205-pound division needs to settle itself. It needs to figure out who will potentially be next to fight for the title after the Jon Jones and Alex fight. You have Ankalaev, who can fight whoever else is left in there. You've got Olberg, who could potentially fight Alex, but I don't know if the UFC is going to take that chance and lose the Jon Jones fight.
No one agrees with you that Jon Jones goes back to 205.
Oh, you don't think so?
Nobody agrees with you.
Wow, nobody.
Yeah.
That's rough. You guys are cutting me deep here. I would be willing to bet that it will be at 205. How are you going to have that fight at heavyweight? It will not be for a title. And if we're just talking super fights, the UFC would like to put a stamp on it with the title. And I know that Jon Jones doesn't care about fucking titles. He's got like 15 of them in his locker. He's like, they're probably just in his closet, put away. I look at where Jon is at in his career. I think Jon does come back down to 205. If you bring him up to heavyweight and you bring Alex up and he fights Tom and he doesn't win, now you've lost the steam of this super fight. So, or you can have them fight at heavyweight, which is fine for no title. I just think that if you don't put a title on it, it doesn't have the same feel going into the fight. It's a huge fight. It's a huge fight. Everyone loves Alex. Everybody loves Jon Jones. They love his fighting style. I'm not saying not everyone loves Jon Jones, but they love him as a fighter. A lot of people think he's the greatest fighter of all time. If Alex is able to beat Jon Jones at 205, who everyone considers to be the number one, the greatest fighter of all time, what better way to test it than to test it at 205, where they both, one was a champion and one was the longest reigning champion there. Jon's 38 years old. The wrestling is not as easy at 38 years old. He's also very tricky with his wrestling. He's not going to just shoot a double leg, and he may, but I'm saying he's got little trips and foot sweeps and all those things that he does against everybody. I think Tom, in terms of his success in wrestling, I think he'll have some success based on the fact that his physical size. Even Dana talked about it the other day. He's like, until you stand next to Tom Aspinall, you don't realize he's fucking enormous. He's enormous. He's huge. And you mix that with his athleticism and his mobility and his all of those things. I mean, like, it's huge. It doesn't make any sense for him to fight Tom Aspinall. I know it's for the third title. I want to see that fight, but I just think if Alex had to pick, fight Tom Aspinall for the third title and try to become the first person to ever win 3 titles in the UFC, or fight Jon Jones, I think for sure the title doesn't mean as much to him because he's already cemented his legacy. He's been a two-division champion. I know having the third would cement it even more, but beating Jon Jones at 205, the weight class that he ruled for however many times, I think would be more important than winning that third title. Beating the guy who everyone considers to be the GOAT in the sport, I think is more important than having that third title.
Since we're on the topic, Alejandro Gutierrez asks, super fight has to be Tom Aspinall versus Jon or Tom Britton, John US for Independence Day. They might do first Paramount fight, Tom v. Alex, Kayla v. Amanda.
See, I do agree with you on if it's at the White House, you have Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall for the heavyweight title. I could see that. But John's also made it pretty clear. He's like, I'm looking for the fights that interest me. That's why I believe that him going back down to 205, that would suck for him probably a little bit. But I think the motivation is there to say like, hey, like you've won all these titles, you know, whether it be 85 and 205, but I'm still the king at 205, and to fight Alex, who everyone loves, you know, I think that's a big fight. That's a huge fight. That would do really well. That would do huge numbers, especially on CBS, which is where they're talking about it being. Outside of that, I don't think there's any other fights for him. You could do the Olberg fight, which I don't think is nothing. I don't think Alex has the desire to do that fight. He's like, I'm looking for super fights. The Jon Jones fight at 205 or the Jon Jones fight at heavyweight with no title. That doesn't make any sense, you know, especially if that fight's at the June 14th at the White House. Tom Aspinall and Jon, that makes sense. It's for the title. But Jon literally left the sport to not fight Tom Aspinall. So what makes you think he's going to come back? Is just the White House card? Is it just being at the White House going to make him come back for?
Well, he's already made that very clear, though, because he's argued, like, he's said, like, I'm willing to, like, this is a big deal to me and it's something worth coming back for. So it sounds like yes is the answer to that.
Okay. I guess we're going to see. I mean, but if you're the UFC, as a promoter, what are you looking to do? As a promoter, I'm taking the biggest name fight I could possibly give Jon Jones if he's going to return for this White House card. And I have him fight Alex at 205 as the main event. And then do you put Conor as the co-main? That's a rough one. Or do you put Conor at the top? And if you put Conor at the top, it's got to be against somebody that has a title. He doesn't have a title. It's got to be Max Holloway. That's it. That's BMF title. That's the only thing I can see. Like, how do you have a title fight below them if it's going to be Conor at the top?
But at this point, could you justify? I mean, because you're not trying to sell a gate, I guess, right? So could you just have Conor second or third down behind the title?
I mean, you could. Yeah, you could. I mean, he's still like, you got to be honest.
And then the show's it's gonna be on ABC, right?
CBS.
So it's going to be a free fight card. Yeah. So you're not trying to sell anything really. So you don't necessarily need Conor. Like you're basically just trying to sell sponsorships to cover the purses, right?
No, I understand. I understand that. I do get it, but I'm just saying he's still the biggest draw. You know, unless I give be honest, unless Habib came back.
That's what I'm saying. Though, is like draw. What does draw mean when you don't need the draw?
I mean, they still need the draw. The numbers. You want the numbers to be huge.
Yeah, but you're doing a UFC on the White House lawn.
Yeah. You think everyone's just going to tune in? You don't think like
I think the whole world's going to tune in?
You think the whole world's going to tune in?
Yeah, the whole world.
I get what you're saying. I would Conor want to be on there still if he wasn't the main event? I'm sure he would. He's asking for $100 million. I don't know if that's not going to happen. I
mean, when the fighter comes to you and says this is the fight, this is a card he's returning for. Like, yeah, you have the leverage, right? Like Dana stopped chasing Conor a couple of years ago, and then Conor kind of faded into the abyss, and now he's saying he's coming back for it. So I think like the ball's in Dana's court to like write a refusal.
Yeah, but he's also made it clear that that Conor is reliable. Element, the best hydration drink in the business. I had citrus earlier today. It's actually fantastic. And now they're making the lemonade salt in the can. Cannot wait. So if you guys use that link down below in the descriptions, they'll send you a bonus package with every single purchase. That's compliments of the Wayne In podcast. So hope you guys enjoy that.